Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Point of Insanity Game Studios Geekery in General podcast. I am Al, and today I'm going to be doing another bargain bin adventure because you know what? I haven't done one of those in a while. So today we're going to be taking a look at three forms of media that I think we can all agree are pretty awesome: comic books, movies, and video games. Now, these three forms of media are usually aimed at the same general target demographic, usually your adolescents, teenagers, and people in their early to mid 20s. So it should be no surprise that all three forms of media have fed into each other. We've seen movies based on comic books. We've seen comic books based on movies. We've seen video games based on comic books and video games based on movies. However, part of the problem that people have with movies based on video games is that they don't always capture the original flavor of the source material. And to some extent, you can also say the same thing about the movies that are based on comic books. I mean, let's take a look at the 1993 movie Super Mario Brothers. Okay, the original game it was based on, Super Mario Brothers for the NES. Good. The movie featuring Bob Hopkins and John Leguizamo, and not so good. And part of the problem with that particular movie is it just totally didn't feel like anything remotely related to the game. I mean, they took a couple little elements from it and they tried to force them all together. And I don't know, depending on who you ask, didn't really work very well. Now, it's not unusual nowadays to see a movie based on a comic book that also turns into a video game as well. Sometimes these can be done quite successfully. For example, let's take a look at the 1989 Batman film by Tim Burton. Of course, based on the Batman comics, and everyone loves Batman. And the movie itself, starring Jack Nicholson, Michael Keaton, Kim Basinger, Billy D. Williams, was actually really good. And Sunsoft also made an NES game based on the movie. It loosely followed the plot, but still a very fun game. It had incredible music for the time, incredible graphics. The gameplay was really fun. Hard as heck, but still a very fun and rewarding game. Well, let's jump to a little bit more recent time. Actually, not too recent, 10 years ago, we had the second Fantastic Four movie, Rise of the Silver Surfer. And while I was at my local GameStop, picked up the video game version of it for the Xbox 360. So we're going to take a look at this. And now this was actually the third Fantastic Four movie. In a lot of circles, it's common knowledge that before the previous one that was released in 2005, there was a Fantastic Four movie that was made but never actually saw release. Now, as far as the Fantastic Four movies go, I haven't seen the recent remake, but I did see Fantastic Four and Rise of the Silver Surfer. Now, as far as comic book superheroes go, never really was into the Fantastic Four. Yeah, I knew who they were, but back when I was collecting comics, I never actually collected that particular series. So, I'm going into the video game with not too many expectations because, as I said, while I enjoy the movie, not sure if the video game is going to really capture the same flavor of the movie and the same feel. I'm going to guess it's probably going to be very similar to at least in its feel, to the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games. So let's fire up Rise of the Silver Surfer. So, of course, we begin with the Marvel thing that we see in at the start of every Marvel video game and movie nowadays. The game was made by 2K, which I think they actually made Amped 3, which was another game that I really enjoyed, and that was one of the earlier games for the Xbox 360, I believe, and I really enjoyed Amped 3, so hopefully they did a pretty good job with Rise of the Silver Surfer. So, watching all the things come up, visual concepts, never heard of them. Maybe I have, I just don't remember. Of course, the familiar Fantastic Four logo. So, Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. Press start. Yes, we know, automatically saves. Gonna do a new game. Normal mode. So, character select. Oh, looks like it's a little 4-player thing, so that makes sense, I guess. Let's do the Thing. I always kind of liked him. Skrull Layer. The Fantastic Four head to a remote island in the Pacific to investigate a spike in cosmic energy that Reed located using a transponder he built in the Baxter building. Okay, a little hint, but I'm not using Sue. That doesn't make much use to me right now.
Okay, walk me through this again, Reed. How does what's going on underground have anything to do with all that craziness up there?
Yeah, I got the same question as Hothead here.
All of my readings correlate exactly to this location. I've tracked a large cosmic energy spike to these coordinates. Find the source and maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to figure out why Earth is experiencing such strange weather anomalies.
This would so have to happen when I'm still trying to find a caterer.
Oi, the wedding!
Don't push it.
Look out!
Johnny, we could use some light.
Got it, sis. Flame on! What do you think?
Ben, we're gonna need an assist here.
Yeah, and Big Rock, make little rocks.
No problem. Step aside, Sparky.
Okay. So I wonder if you can switch between them. Okay, just pressing buttons.
Get your heads down!
Team hint. Okay, so there's going to be a... Oh, so far this kind of reminds me of the Marvel Ultimate Alliance and the X-Men Legends. So, actually, I really enjoyed the way those games were executed, where they had the 4-player mode, and granted it was made by a different company, but see how this turns out for this game. Okay, pick up. Gather all teammates on the elevator to proceed, okay? Where's the elevator? Okay, there we go.
Time to go to work!
Okay, so I assume there's some way to call.
Watch your backs!
Okay, so yeah, that was a mechanic that they had in the Marvel Ultimate Alliance and the X-Men Legends, which, you know, you could call all your allies to you. So I wonder if they have it where, like, certain characters cannot lift certain items because they're too heavy. They had that in the Ultimate Alliance. Okay, where's this elevator? Where if you couldn't pick up your character wasn't strong enough to pick up an item, they would say something like, Deadpool was pretty funny, of course. It's like, you try to make him pick up something that's too heavy for him, and he's like, I couldn't pick that up even if you said please. Okay, use a computer.
Okay, everyone, we're good to go.
So, like I said, I liked the squad-based combat of Ultimate Alliance. What happens if I go, okay, there's an invisible wall.
Let's take care of it!
too.
Okay, there we go.
Let's
Use
get
the
I'm ready.
directional pad to switch between characters. Okay, I probably should have been paying attention to whatever that thing was. Actually, let's try that.
Finish this.
Very well.
Let's see if Sue can pick up stuff.
I'm ready.
Okay, yep, they do that mechanic where I guess probably Ben Grimm, being the strongest of the team, can probably pick up the most stuff. Okay, is there enemies that I can kill around here? Ooh, little Fantastic Four coins. Okay. Oh, open door. There we go.
Heads up,
Okay, here we go.
We can talk.
Okay, where's my team? There we go. Okay, so far, very much reminds me of the Ultimate Alliance and X-Men Legends.
Let's go.
Let's get them.
Try someone else. Okay, thought I saw there was something you could use. There we go. Superpowers.
Let's go.
Come on, guys.
Don't worry.
Okay,
guys.
display
I'm sure
hint.
I can handle this.
I need a hint. Oh, what? Who hit me? Okay, those guys are firing laser guns at me. Okay, I used a superpower there somehow. Hey, come on, Stretcho. Okay, hopefully there's a way to life up somewhere. Okay, where do we go next? Okay, there's another door thing. Let's
Time to finish this.
switch to Hothead over here. So again, not really anything that we saw in the movie, and again, doesn't surprise me because, you know, usually in movie-based games, you know, of course, there's different ways you can do it where, you know, sometimes you want to try to follow the plot of the movie as closely as possible, but sometimes you want to try to branch off. And like I said, there are some games I've seen do that, you know, rather successfully. Okay, apparently we're supposed to do something with
I'm
the
ready.
thing here.
Read.
Okay, don't know what I did there. But you can combine powers, so that's pretty cool. So what was this hint here? Okay, write something and B to create a shockwave. There we go. Yeah, they actually did something like that in X-Men Legends and Marvel Ultimate Alliance, where you had this super move that you could start to build up on, and when you reach a certain point, you could release it. And, well, it worked really well for X-Men Legends. In Ultimate Alliance 2, they did something that I wasn't really crazy about, and that was... Okay, do these aliens have a thing for Sue Storm there? But anyways, the thing I didn't like about Ultimate Alliance is the way they did that was,
Let me turn invisible and I can slip by here.
okay, I should probably listen to Sue here, so... Okay, there we go. Okay, I get my butt kicked. But like I said, in Marvel Ultimate Alliance, they did this thing where it's like when you built up your super move enough and you used it, everyone else who also had their super move charged up fully also would use it, which could be really helpful when you're trying to, you know, damage a boss. But it's like, okay, if you did it by accident and you didn't want to do, you didn't want to, you know, have everyone use their super move, it didn't really work so well. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm not doing too good at this. So I wonder how I bring back
I'm the only
party.
one who can handle this, as usual.
Okay, so I gotta switch to
Time to
Johnny.
finish this. Coming at you, Reed.
Okay, I didn't want to do that. There was like a hint. They did here. Okay. Display hint. Pull right trigger and A to fly. I think that's what I meant, yeah.
Coming at you, Reed.
Okay, that's not what I wanted to do.
Coming at you, Reed.
Okay. Okay, there we go. I can't tell my left from my right. That's why it wasn't working. So apparently left is for teamwork and right's for other stuff. So that's cool. I imagine these Fantastic Four coins I'm picking up are probably going to be used to buy power-ups later. Or power up your abilities.
Watch out! Ready when you are.
Where to?
Okay, I have no idea what I'm doing here. Okay, so another hint.
Let's put an end to this.
I'm ready.
But as I was saying before I got interrupted by the gameplay here, you know, of course with movie-based games, it's always kind of a crapshoot for what, you know, how it's going to turn out, because, you know, I think if you make it too close to the movie, people probably are going to be like, okay, I know what's going to come next. So it is kind of cool when they do make movie-based games that...
Wait! I think I can reach that upper switch. Let me try something.
Okay, Reed, I was trying to talk here, buddy. Okay, right trigger and then periscope punch.
Let's get
Okay.
'em.
What do you need?
Need you to shut up so I can do my podcast here, buddy. That's what I'm doing. Okay, right trigger. Did I open the door? I think I did. But yeah, as I was saying, the thing when you're making these, you know, movie-based games, you know, you're always taking kind of a risk sometimes, I think, if you deviate too much from the movie, but sometimes it can actually turn out really well. I mean, a good example would be, and I talk about this game quite a bit, Willow for the NES. Even though it only very loosely follows the plot of the movie, it's still a very fun game. I mean, I guess I need Sue here.
A blue laser. Interesting.
Think I could pass through it while invisible?
Yes. Yes, I think so.
Okay, so how do I turn invisible? So, okay, the right trigger.
Look out!
There we go. I'm starting to get the hang of this. So it's actually not too... Okay, so now I'm starting to get the hang of this here, because, yeah, what you gotta do, it's like you press the trigger, and then it shows the little thing, and you just press the corresponding button for what power you want to do. And I assume you probably have a limited amount of power, of course. They did that in the X-Men Legends games as well, and the Marvel Ultimate Alliance. So now it's just a matter of learning what all these powers do. Okay. Okay, why are you guys leaving Sue up there? Shouldn't you guys be following her? Okay. Who's shooting at me? Okay, there they are. So I think it is cool that they're not probably going to follow the movie too precisely, because, you know, I think if, in the case of the Fantastic Four movies, you know, if you, you know, if they just focused on fighting Doom and the Silver Surfer, it, well, wouldn't really give you much options for gameplay. So, you know, that is cool how they are doing they're working in the scroll, and I'm sure if I get around to playing this game, you know, further, you know, they'll probably introduce, wouldn't surprise me if they introduce other characters and heroes and villains and such from the Fantastic Four mythology, or at least whatever they were allowed to get the rights to use, because I understand that, like, it's like I don't remember who owns the rights to, like, the X-Men stuff, but part of the problem they can't really do a proper Civil War movie is because, you know, you have the X-Men, or there's one film studio that has the right to the X-Men series, and then 20th Century Fox, they have the rights to Fantastic Four, and, you know, so they're kind of limited by who has rights to what. Okay, I think there was something over here I was supposed to press. Okay, guess not. So yeah, as far as the movies went, as I recall, I think the first Fantastic Four movie was not very well received, but
Let's go.
I think the second one actually got a little bit better reviews than the first one.
Time to finish this.
And honestly, to be honest, I think I did enjoy the... Okay, was I already here before? Okay, now I'm lost. I probably should be paying attention. But I think I... Wait, required 4 only. Okay, what does that mean? I gotta call everyone over?
Here they come.
Okay, where am I supposed to go?
Let's get them.
Okay, there's everyone. Where am I supposed to go? Okay, maybe I was supposed to go this way. I forget where I was going. Like I've said before when doing my bargain bin adventures, sometimes playing a game while talking and trying to comment about it and talk about totally unrelated things, sometimes sometimes it's a little easier said than done. Okay, is this where I'm supposed to go? Okay, there we go. Okay, what hint do we got here? Ben hint. Okay, so apparently I'm gonna make my Git tutorial hint check and think, you know, I probably need to use that. So, anyways, as far as Marvel movies go, for the most part, I like them. I wasn't much for the first X-Men film. The others, I thought they did get better over time. And I guess the reason I wasn't really too fond of the first X-Men film, I think I couldn't take... I didn't like the performance that Ian McKellen gave of Magneto in the first one, but I do have to admit, I think his performance of Magneto did get a lot better as the series progressed. And I also did like was it Michael Fassbender who did the... Uh-oh. The Thing is dead, okay. Serves me right for not paying attention, I guess, but...
And I thought I was tough. This guy looks like he means business. Watch
Super
it,
Skrull! Okay, that was nice. They gave me Ben Grimm back. Okay, don't they put life ups in the game? I'm sure they probably do somehow. But yeah, as far as some of the other ones, overall I enjoyed this. I did enjoy the Spider-Man movies. At least the ones with Tobey Maguire. I haven't seen the reboot one yet. Not intending to.
What do you need?
Because I guess it's because I liked the first one enough where I didn't, the first trilogy enough, and I don't know. I guess part of the problem when you take comics like Spider-Man, Batman, and the Fantastic Four, anyone who's somewhat familiar with comic book lore, they're probably familiar with their backstories. Okay, we know that Spider-Man was bit by a spider, and then his uncle was killed. We know that Fantastic Four, they went into space and got hit by gamma radiation. That gave them their powers. Batman, we all know his origin, how his parents were killed. So, yeah, that's the problem, I think, I guess that's what I hate about when they do the reboots of these series. It's like, okay, I think you can get away with starting a new Spider-Man trilogy, for example, where we're not showing his, him getting bit by a radioactive spider, and we're not showing him, deal with his Uncle Ben getting killed. It's like, yeah, we all know it. Just like I think they can do a Batman. If they're going to do another Batman series, you don't have to start with his parents getting killed, Yes, we are aware of what happened to Mr. and Mrs. Wayne. Now, I suppose if they want to maybe put a new twist on it, that would be one thing, but of course you're probably going to have a lot of... Okay, so we need to cross over something, so probably Ben is going to have to fly. Or not Ben, Johnny. But, as I was saying, it's like, I'm sure that if you did start a Spider-Man movie, though, for example, where, you didn't have it follow the classic course of, Uncle Ben getting killed and Peter getting bitten by a spider.
If it's a fight they want,
I'm ready.
It's a fight.
It's like, okay,
Let's go.
yeah, there's going to be people who are going to get upset about that, and... Okay, so there's more things down there. Okay, well, right now, game's not really giving me much to work with anymore. I mean, overall, seems like a pretty good game. I mean, I do like how, at least from a style perspective, it seems to follow the same pattern that Marvel Ultimate Alliance did and X-Men Legends did. It worked really well. There were the RPG elements where your characters leveled up, so, I think they're probably going to do that later in the game. So, like I said, we'll have to see what they do with it, and, I might have to check this game out a little later. Actually, it doesn't look too bad, so... Okay, just trying to experiment with the powers, so that's kind of fun. But I think I'm going to probably call this episode to a close here, as, like I said, it's getting kind of, not boring, just
I'm ready.
getting kind of repetitive here, just breaking stuff. Granted, it's fun to do that but it's more fun to actually do it than listen to someone talk about breaking stuff. So with that said, I'd like to thank you all for joining, and have a good evening, or morning, or afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are, and happy gaming.